Good evening and welcome to News at 6 on Rajya Sabha TV. Let us begin with the headlines. Manohar Parrikar sends out a stern warning. Says those who give India pain will be paid back the same. Even as Pakistan forms a joint investigation team to probe a Pathankot attack links to the country. Uncertainty over government formation in Jammu and Kashmir continues. BJP puts the ball in Mehbooba's court, says PDP has to take the first call. War of words between the BJP and TMC over Malda incident after three-member BJP MP committee stopped from visiting Kalyachak. And a key meeting for bringing peace and to Afghanistan begins in Islamabad. Pakistan urges calm and warns against setting any preconditions for talks. The top story in the backdrop of the Pathankot terror attack. Now, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar today sent out a stern warning saying that whoever gives India pain should be paid back in the same coin. He was addressing army officers at a seminar to mark the 68th Army Day. Meanwhile, Pakistan arrested some suspects in connection with the Pathankot airbase attack. All right, so important developments coming in the backdrop of the Pathankot terror attack. Now, Pakistan has arrested some suspects in connection with the Pathankot airbase attack. Meanwhile, in Delhi, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar today sent out a stern warning saying that whoever gives India pain should be paid back in the same coin. Now, the Defence Minister was addressing army officers at a seminar to mark the 68th Army Day. Remember, all this coming in the backdrop of the Pathankot airbase attack. Now, India is saying very clearly to Pakistan there that stern action must be taken on the perpetrators and setting that as a condition for the NSA level talks.
Someone is harming this country. I think that particular individual or that organization, I have purposely used the word individual or organization, should also receive the pain of such activity. Until this pain can be transmitted, he will always enjoy giving pain to us.
Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar sending out a strong warning for those behind the Pathankot attack. He talked about tit-for-tat tactics, reiterating those who harmed India will feel the pain. He was, however, forced to clarify his remarks, saying he never mentioned any particular country or militant organization.
मैंने उसमें भी ये भी कहा कि आप उससे कुछ अर्थ निकालो मत, ये भी कहा मैंने. तो मैं उसका बेसिक प्रिंसिपल बोल रहा हूँ कि जब तक हम लोग उनको दर्द नहीं पहुँचाएंगे, जो कोई हो, मैं एक स्पेसिफिक इशू में नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, तब तक ऐसे इंसिडेंट कम नहीं होंगे.
Meanwhile, Pakistan arrested few suspects in connection with the Pathankot attack based on leads given by India. This following raids by Pakistan intelligence officials in Gujranwala, Jhelum and Bahawalpur districts. Pak Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif also ordered a joint investigation team of IB, Intelligence Services Intelligence, Military Intelligence, Federal Investigation Agency and Police to probe the Pathankot attack links to Pakistan.
I think this time Pakistan seems a little sincere as far as pursuing the perpetrators of Pathankot attack is concerned. Firstly, the organization that has been accused of committing crime is Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is by itself a proscribed organization in Pakistan. I think at this juncture we have to wait and watch.
देखिए, पठानकोट में जो आतंकवादी हमला हुआ उसको लेकर पूरे देश में आक्रोश है और अच्छी बात ये रही कि नवाज शरीफ साहब ने कहा कि वो कार्रवाई करेंगे, ऐसा उन्होंने आश्वासन दिया.
It's a first step, but it's not the last step because we've been through this before. At the time of 26/11 also, there was a special court that was set up But 8 years later, we're more or less where we were.
The Pathankot terror attack has cast a shadow over the Indo-Pak Foreign Secretary level talks scheduled for January 15th. Uncertainty still looms large over whether the talks will happen. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has denied reports that the upcoming Foreign Secretary level talks between India and Pakistan have been called off. Now, in a report in Hindi Daily on Monday, quoted him as saying in an exclusive interview that talks would take place only if Pakistan takes action against those behind the Pathankot terror attacks are punished. Now, Ajit Doval has denied giving that interview. Doval said that he speaks to the media almost every day. However, he does not remember giving such an interview. Pakistan confirmed on Saturday that the Indo-Pak Foreign Secretary level talks will take place in Islamabad on 15th of January as scheduled. And news from Jammu and Kashmir, well, amid a delay in the government formation in the state, the BJP on Monday put the ball in PDP's court. The party left it to the Mehbooba Al-Mufti-led party to take the first call and also made it clear that it wanted the existing power-sharing arrangement between them to continue. BJP General Secretary and the parties in charge of the state, Ram Madhav, also rejected as mere speculation reports that both parties have put up fresh conditions. He also asserted that no political discussion has started between them as Mehbooba Mufti was still mourning her father, Mufti Muhammad Saeed's death. Meanwhile, undermining all speculation, the Congress party has also refused to get drawn into the politics of government formation in the state.
कब तक बन पाएगी इसका उत्तर मेरे पास नहीं है। हमने एक अच्छा उद्देश्य लेकर 8 महीना पहले जम्मू कश्मीर को एक अच्छा स्थायी सरकार जो डेवलपमेंट ओरिएंटेड हो, जम्मू कश्मीर के हित में हो, ऐसी एक सरकार देने का एक संकल्प लेकर हम दोनों पार्टी साथ आए थे मुफ्ती साहब के लीडरशिप में। आज मुफ्ती साहब नहीं रहे हैं। अब इस अरेंजमेंट को ब्रॉडली जारी रखने के पक्ष में हम हैं।
All right, for more on this, let's go across to my colleague Vishal Daya. Vishal, now Mehbooba Mufti is keeping BJP actually guessing because suspense is still continuing in Jammu and Kashmir over the government formation. What happens from here?
Well, yes, you're right. Mehbooba has been keeping BJP guessing for at least 2 days now. In fact, initially, Mehbooba had refused to take oath, saying that she'll not do so until and unless the mourning period for her father's death is over, which got over yesterday. But since morning today, there was no statement which came in from the PDP. In fact, just a short while ago, a short statement has come in from the PDP, wherein a PDP leader has said that Mehbooba Mufti will become the chief minister. But interestingly, there has been no, talk of whether or not the alliance with BJP will continue or not. Another interesting point out here is that, the BJP on its part has been saying that it wants that alliance to continue. But the ball is now in PDP's court. It is for PDP to decide who its leader will be and then inform the governor and its alliance partner BJP that about the name of the person, which in this case would in all probability would be Mufti Saeed's daughter, Mehbooba Mufti. Also, another interesting angle has come to the story yesterday when the Congress President Sonia Gandhi went to Srinagar, met Mehbooba Mufti, but the Congress party has clearly indicated that no politics should be read into this meeting. Rather, it was only a meeting to convey her condolences over the demise of Mufti Muhammad Saeed. Let's not forget out here that Mufti Muhammad Saeed was once a very revered and a senior Congress leader who parted ways and went on to Janata Dal and then formed his own party. So obviously, and PDP and Congress has had been in alliance earlier as well. This time around, though, there is a number crunch which both parties are facing out here. If at all PDP and Congress decides to come together, they together still fall 4 MLAs short of that magic figure in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So obviously, they will have to do a lot of arithmetic out here before at all any decision is taken. One very important point out here is that, everybody is now waiting for Mehbooba Mufti to clear the confusion and to break a silence as to what will happen next as far as the government formation in the state of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Aishwarya?
Definitely. Thank you so much, Vishal, for those details there. So, Mehbooba Mufti there keeping the partner BJP on tenterhooks as far as government formation in the state of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. And from Jammu and Kashmir, let's go to West Bengal, where the political battle between the Mamata Banerjee-led government and the BJP over the Malda incident has heated up, with the BJP today launching a blistering attack on the ruling TMC. Now, it has put up 5 questions to it and accused it of turning a blind eye to the incidents that are happening in that state. Now, this even as a 3-member party committee to Malda was turned back. Here is more.
कोई भी सेकुलर राज्य होगा वो कभी भी ये अलाउ नहीं करेगा कि लोग सांप्रदायिकता का जहर बोएं, लीफलेट्स बांटें, जिसके अंदर कम्युनल प्रोवोकेशन करें, उसके लिए वो रोक करेगा। मगर ऐसा ममता जी ने किया नहीं। क्यों नहीं किया? क्योंकि वो वोट बैंक की राजनीति करती हैं।
The BJP hitting out at the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee over violence in Malda. The party posed 5 questions before Mamata, accusing her of failing to control the situation despite advanced reports about brewing tension. The BJP also alleged that the Kaliachak police station was attacked to destroy records about opium farming and a fake currency racket in the area.
This opium farming, which leads to drug smuggling across the border, which leads to the fake currency racket which was going to be busted, raises enough suspicion that why the police station where all these records were kept was attacked.
This came after a fact-finding team of BJP MPs was stopped from visiting Kaliachak. District authorities cited imposition of Section 144 in the area. On January 6th, another BJP delegation led by Shamik Bhattacharya, its lone MLA in West Bengal Assembly, was stopped from visiting the area.
We are coming here to give a confidence to the people, know about the truth. We also want to know about the circumstances and the facts and the chain of events, what was happened here. But unfortunately, we are not allowed to go there.
With assembly polls due later this year in Bengal, the incident has turned into a political blame game.
It's a sensitive border town. 10 arrests have been made. No injuries, no deaths. So that is tactful handling. And B, this is part of the BJP RSS's SIN 100 strategy. By SIN, I mean CIN 100. What is CIN? It means communally insensitive narrative.
सब जगह चुनाव के पहले ये इस प्रकार के सांप्रदायिक ध्रुवीकरण और उन्माद पैदा करने का प्रयास करते हैं, लेकिन इस बार विशेषकर मालदा की उस भयानक घटना के बाद टीएमसी और टीएमसी सरकार चाहती है कि इस प्रकार के ध्रुवीकरण हो, तो ये बहुत ही खतरनाक है बंगाल के लिए।
Violence had broken out in Kaliachak on December 3rd over an alleged remark of a BJP leader. Protesters had also set fire to a police station. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had said there was no communal tension and described the incident as a fallout of an issue between the BSF and locals. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in the other big story of the day, the Supreme Court today asked Parliament to enact a separate offence of child rape and provided rigorous punishment to offenders under that. Now, this is the first time that the Apex Court has distinguished between minors and children below 10 years of age. The bench also said Parliament has to separately define the word child in terms of rape. Currently, Section 376 of the Indian Penal Code only talks of women below 16 years of age and has no specific provision for girl children below 10 years and infants. The court was responding to an appeal demanding castration as a punishment for those convicted of child abuse. While they did not give in to that demand, the court said that Parliament could consider harsher punitive laws.
हम लोगों को ये भी तो समझना होगा कि ये हो क्यों रहा है, क्यों लड़कियों पे इतना ज़्यादा सेक्सुअल वायलेंस इन्फ्लिक्ट किया जा रहा है।
बच्चों के साथ बलात्कार किसी तरह का भी जघन्य अपराध है और इसकी जितनी भी निंदा की जाए, इसको रोकने का हर प्रयास करना चाहिए। मगर हमारे मासूम बच्चों के साथ अगर इस तरह की बात होती है तो ये हम सब के लिए और पूरे देश के लिए शर्म की बात है।
ये कोई आज पहला बार ऐसा नहीं हुआ है। अब पहला बार रेप नहीं हो रहा है कि आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट कह रही है कि नहीं इस पे कानून बनाओ।
If you go to see, there are 4-year-old being gang raped by 4 persons, and what does the law do? 7 years, and then they leave it until and unless the punishment is very serious. It is not going to act as a deterrent.
सरकार को कहीं ना कहीं संवेदनशील होके ज्यादा सख्ती करनी पड़ेगी कि लोगों में कानून का भय बने।
साइकोलॉजिस्ट का कहना है कि एक दिमाग की एक उसमें वो अपवाद होता है जिसकी वजह से चाइल्ड रेपिस्ट होते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत जरूरी है कि यही एक सॉल्यूशन है।
And more news from across the country in Nationwide. The Delhi High Court has refused to interfere with the AAP government's even odd scheme of vehicle rationing in the national capital. Chief Justice G. Rohini and Justice Jayant Nath said that decision to run the scheme for 15 days is based on expert knowledge. The bench, however, asked the Delhi government to consider the issue raised in over 12 different petitions against the scheme. The centre's notification lifting the ban on the bull taming sport Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu was challenged today in the Supreme Court. The petitions were filed by the Animal Welfare Board of India, PETA India and a Bangalore-based NGO. The issue will be heard tomorrow. The Supreme Court has directed the Gujarat government to file a charge sheet against past leader Hardik Patel by 8th of January. Patel was initially taken into custody by the Rajkot police for insulting the national flag. However, he is lodged in Surat's Lajpur Central Jail after being accused of sedition for allegedly inciting followers to kill policemen. India announced it would spend 110 billion rupees to improve the condition of accident-prone areas across the country. Road Safety Week began today with the dignitaries stressing on the importance of proper implementation of various road safety policies and measures in a bid to minimize mishaps in the country. The Road Safety Week with the theme Time for Action will conclude on 17th of January. And Chinese shares got off to a poor start at the beginning of the week as last week's volatility continued to hit the markets. Despite suspending use of the circuit breaker mechanism and a higher valuation of the yuan, the Shanghai Composite closed down 5.33% at 3,016.7 points. Weak inflation data over the weekend did little to encourage investors. China's consumer inflation edged up 1.6% in December 2015 from the same month the year before. Global markets also took a hit owing to confusion in the Chinese markets. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index and South Korea's Kospi Index also extended to the negative. Wall Street suffered its worst starting week in history. Tumbling oil prices also weighed heavily on the markets.
Well, I think the crash that we've seen in the mainland equity markets took everybody by surprise, but it was more or less a direct result of the heavy-handed intervention last summer. Even if only a small percentage of those institutional investors would have sold at the end of last week, that would still have been a significant selling pressure. So that made it rational for retail investors to want to exit the market first. So a direct result of the very inappropriate market interventions we saw last summer.
Well, things were not better here in India as well because the benchmark BSE Sensex also crashed on Monday under relentless selling pressure following the Chinese meltdown. The Sensex ended the day at 24,825.04, down 109 points after hitting its fresh 52-week low in the intraday trade. The NSE Nifty also settled at 7,563, down 38 points. There was brisk selling on the counters of ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, TCS and State Bank of India, which pushed the benchmark indices lower as investors rushed to cover their losses. In News at 6, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more international news and some sports news as well. Stay tuned.
Hello, I am Ishan Russell.
I'm Tracy Shilchi and you're watching News Tonight.
Together with the team of our
dedicated professionals from across various fields.
This is Shyam Sundar,
Vishal Dahiya,
Akhilesh Suman,
Frank Pereira from Beijing, China.
Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
We bring to you
the news that matters here on Rajya Sabha TV.
on to the top international story now. In a key meeting of a quadrilateral group including Afghanistan, Pakistan, China and the US aimed at reviving the stalled peace process began in Islamabad today. Pakistan urged calm heads to undertake a realistic assessment of the peace opportunities. At the same time, it warned against setting any preconditions to the fragile peace process.
Another attempt at peace in Afghanistan. Renewed efforts to end nearly 15 years of bloodshed. Delegates gathered in Islamabad on Monday to resurrect a stalled Afghan peace process as first round of talks was suspended soon after commencement. The four-nation talks saw representatives from Afghanistan, Pakistan, China and the United States. Afghan Deputy Foreign Minister Hikmat Karzai and Pakistan's Foreign Secretary Aizaz Chaudhry were also in attendance. Pakistan says the primary goal should be to convince the Taliban to come to the negotiating table and consider giving up violence.
The primary objective of reconciliation process is to create conditions to bring the Taliban groups to the negotiating table and offer them incentives that can persuade them to move away from using violence as a tool for pursuing political goals. It is therefore important that preconditions are not attached to the start of the negotiation process. This, in our view, will be counterproductive.
Presenting a list of Taliban insurgents willing to negotiate with Kabul, Islamabad insisted on proper sequencing to assess the opportunities and anticipate obstacles.
Threat of the use of military action against irreconcilables cannot precede the offer of talks to all the groups and their response to such offers.
The second round of talks with the Taliban can be expected towards the end of January if the four nations agree on the minimum agenda of talks. But even as officials work out a roadmap, they are keen to limit expectations of a quick breakthrough.
It was not being accepted by most of other Taliban. They were saying that he cannot be our leader. So it means that there are different conflicts, the difference of opinion within the Taliban as well.
和国际社会一样，中方高度关注有关的事态发展，对有关事件可能激化地区矛盾表示担忧。我们希望有关各方在反恐问题上加强沟通，形成合力。我们也主张外交人员和机构的安全和尊严呢，应该得到保障。
Renewed peace efforts come amid spiraling violence in Afghanistan. The first round of talks had collapsed with the news of Taliban chief Mullah Omar's death in a suspected drone strike. With strong opposition within Afghanistan and the Taliban too split on whether to take part in the talks, the peace process will be a testing time for all. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And as tensions heightened further in the Korean Peninsula, the United States has put on a show of strength. Following North Korea's nuclear test, the US Air Force blew a B-52 bomber over its ally South Korea. But Pyongyang maintains that the test was a self-defensive step against a US threat of nuclear war. Tension continues to prevail in the Korean Peninsula after the North's hydrogen nuclear bomb test. On Sunday, the US flew its B-52 bomber on a low-level flight over the sky of its ally South Korea, a clear show of force by Washington.
The United States remains steadfast in its commitment to the defense of the Republic of Korea and maintaining the stability on the Korean Peninsula, to include extended deterrence provided by our conventional forces and our nuclear umbrella.
Base commander in the South Korean Air Force said that its Air Force was ready to punish any provocations firmly and strongly, whenever, wherever and in whatever shape they may be.
한미 동맹은 그 어느 때보다 공고하며 특히 한미 연합 공군력은 유사시 긴밀한 정보 공유와 강력하고 정밀한 화력을 바탕으로 적의 도발 의지를 무력화시키겠습니다.
B-52 bombers can carry nuclear weapons. Their deployment is part of a series of military counteractions taken after the North announced its nuclear test on Wednesday. The B-52 is capable of bombing North Korea's military commanding facilities from 3,000 kilometers away.
전략자산을 한반도에 추가 전개하는 문제는 한미가 긴밀하게 지속적으로 협의하고 있습니다.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un maintained that Wednesday's test was of a hydrogen bomb and said it was a self-defensive step against a US threat of nuclear war. North Korea's fourth nuclear test angered both China, which is its main ally, and the United States, although the US government and weapons experts doubt the North's claim that the device was actually a hydrogen bomb. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And for more international news, let's tune in to Global Buzz. A UN aid convoy is expected to leave for Madaya in Syria, where people are reported to be starving to death. Emergency food supplies are due to be sent to the rebel-held town on Sunday, but the operation was delayed. The Syrian town has been under a siege orchestrated by the Syrian army since the month of July last year. At least 5 people were killed and 8 others injured in a missile strike on a Doctors Without Borders clinic in Yemen on Sunday. The raid was the third of its kind in 4 months in the war-ravaged country. MSF said that it was not clear who was behind the attack. The European Union denounced what it called an unacceptable attack. Egypt's first parliament in 3 years convened today. The 596-member body is dominated by supporters of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The parliament reportedly has the highest representation of women, youth and Christians in Egypt's history. All members took their constitutional oath on the first day. Mexico has formally started the process of drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's extradition to the United States. Mexican officials have, however, cautioned that the process might take a while. The 58-year-old faces federal indictments in Chicago and several other U.S. jurisdictions. For now, Guzman has been returned to the same prison that he escaped from 6 months ago. And time for all the sporting action now in Sports Beat. Team India will look to get their combination right as they renew their fierce rivalry against Australia in the first of the 5-match ODI series starting on Tuesday. The short limited over series includes 5 ODIs and 3 T20 internationals. Captain MS Dhoni will lead the charge, but the Indian side will miss fast bowler Mohammad Shami due to injury. New Zealand's batsman Colin Munro blasted the second fastest 50 in T20 internationals as the Kiwis swept the 2-match series against Sri Lanka with a 9-wicket win in Auckland. Munro's 50 came in just 14 balls, 2 more than Yuvraj Singh's half-century against England in the World T20 in the year 2007. Her teammate Martin Guptill has set a new Black Caps record earlier in the match with a 19-ball 50 in his way to 63. World number 1 Jordan Spieth matched Tiger Woods by winning his 7th PGA Tour event before the age of 23 with a dominant victory at Hawaii's Tournament of Champions. The 22-year-old cruised to an 8-shot win over Patrick Reed. He has won the Masters and the US Open in 2015. Atletico Madrid moved back to the top of La Liga with a comfortable win over Celta Vigo. Anthony Griezmann's 10th league goal and a second-half strike from Yannick Carçova gave Atletico a 2-0 victory. They lead Barcelona by 2 points, but they have played a game more. Well, that's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on your channel. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.